Hi, it's Rory, host for the LSU Gala Hall of Distinction Alumni Gala tonight. It's going to be exciting. It's quiet in this room right now, but in about 20 minutes, the crowd's going to be in here clapping and roaring for the inductees. It's going to be a great evening.
LSU really reminds me of home.
Perfect.
Really reminds me of home because that's the way we are in Louisiana. It's people that reach out to one another and help each other.
Well, LSU is my hometown. LSU is my home, and we love LSU. My wife and I support LSU in every way.
When I think of LSU, I think back to when I was just a child and the Saturday night football games and the lights of Tiger Stadium just coming and entering our living room, and our family orbited around LSU. LSU was really the sun in so many ways when I was growing up. And so then to actually be able to attend LSU and now be here on this night, to be recognized by the university I love and to be inducted into the Hall of Distinction, I would never have imagined it, and I just couldn't be prouder.
Everything in my life started and built upon what I did at LSU and what I got from LSU. And I just would not have had the kind of life I had without it.
All right, well, it's showtime.
My name is Rory Smith, and I'm honored to serve as your MC this evening for this very special occasion. On behalf of Cliff Fenoy, his staff, the board of directors of the LSU Alumni Association, as well as the more than 250,000 alumni worldwide, welcome to the 2019 LSU Alumni Association Hall of Distinction Gala. This evening, we celebrate the accomplishments of 4 extraordinary LSU graduates. They have all brought distinction to their alma mater through contributions to the university, the state, our nation, and our world. After tonight, this year's honorees will be recognized as members of an elite assembly of former students. Major Roy Young became the youngest and first inductee to the Hall of Distinction back in 1966. Tonight's honorees will join 301 individuals from all corners of the world and all walks of life who are listed on the roll of this elite fraternity. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce these honorees to you. A former LSU Tiger, sports media analyst, healthcare advocate, businessman, and philanthropist. A 1993 graduate of LSU, the president of the Louisiana Chemical Association, Mr. Greg Bowser. He's a builder, construction executive, and an engineer, an advocate for adoption and the conservation of fresh water. He is a 1958 and 2013 graduate of LSU and the owner and founder of Town Construction, Mr. A. Hayes Town, Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, we've all seen her work. She's one of the brightest rising stars in the television industry. A 1996 graduate of LSU, she's president of the ABC-owned television stations and is the 2019 Young Alumna of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Wendy McMahon. And finally, he's widely considered as the nation's top wetland conservationist. He's a 1979 graduate of LSU and the 2019 LSU Alumni Alumnus of the Year. The CEO of Ducks Unlimited, Mr. Dale Hall.
This is one of my favorite events, and the springtime certainly is one of the best times of year to make this happen. But if I can take just a moment, this spring has been really special for the Vanoy family. You see, my wife, Linda Vanoy, please stand for a minute. The First Lady of the Alumni Association planned and executed a beautiful wedding for our daughter that was 2 weeks ago. And man, it really turned out well. Beautiful job. Thank you, darling. She's also very instrumental in the raising of our children. Our son, we're happy to announce, in about 2 weeks will open his own business in Oregon, a brew pub called Noble Wave with a conscious capital system. So we're excited about that. Plus, we just celebrated 37 years as life together. So fantastic. So tonight's ceremony is a beautiful example of the LSU Alumni Association's core values, which are tradition, loyalty, excellence, integrity, teamwork, selfless service, respect, and communication. Our tradition, which started 35 years ago, has been to identify loyal alumni who throughout their outstanding careers exemplify excellence, integrity, selfless service that's worthy of respect and adulation. When inducted into the LSU Alumni Association Hall of Distinction, we are communicating to the world just how great an LSU alum can be. Tonight, we celebrate you as you join more than 301 LSU Hall of Distinction honorees who are the best of the best, the most distinguished LSU alumni. We are so proud of you and cherish you as the ultimate ambassadors for LSU. So inductees, as you are part of this very elite circle of alumni, please do us a favor. Every time your resume and things are provided with someone, please let them know about your status as a member of the LSU Alumni Association Hall of Distinction class of 2019. It's very, very special. To our guests, we pray that you sincerely enjoy every minute of tonight. Our hope is that you too will become our ambassadors for the Alumni Association and join our efforts to win over every single graduate and friend of LSU to support the Alumni Association in its programs of academic excellence, which include faculty awards, future alumni programming, legislative advocacy, worldwide professional networking, and scholarships for the most academically talented future alumni. But there's more. We want you to encourage you to be true Tigers. And what do we mean by true Tigers? We want everybody to be a member of the Alumni Association, help support all we do. But we also want you to support your college, your academic program, or your school that you graduated from. It's important. We need your help. Also, we have some very, very talented student athletes, and we need to support them as well through the Tiger Athletic Foundation. Together, we're all very fierce for the future as a group of alums and friends. So thank you for being here tonight, and as always, go Tigers.
I apologize, I'm not in my tuxedo. I just flew in from ExxonMobil in Houston, and where we have hundreds of graduates that range from the class of 1978 to the class of 2018. And they're there doing everything from accounting to petroleum engineering, and we were on the ExxonMobil campus just working with them to make sure that they can reconnect to the Alumni Association as well as to the university and explaining the new campaign that we just publicly announced 8 days ago. But first, let me congratulate our honorees tonight. This is indeed a true wonderful honor because they're representing the 280,000 strong alumni base that's all over the world, not just in this region, but all over the world. And to Greg and Wendy and Dale and Hayes, congratulations on this amazing accomplishment. And you are the role models for so many that we were meeting with all day today in Houston, Texas. And they can't wait to get back and celebrate with you on all the things that we celebrate. 8 days ago, we kicked off publicly the largest campaign, the largest university or any other kind of campaign in the state of Louisiana, a $1.5 billion campaign. In 2011, we raised $750 million, and that was our last campaign. But now we're being very bold and being very ambitious, and we're going for the $1.5 billion effort. Thanks to your help, we've already raised $600 million. We're already 40% of the way there. More importantly, though, with the help of the Alumni Association, we have all of our universities in this state and our medical schools and the Ag Center and everybody working together, flying the same banner as a complete LSU campaign. That means every one of our campuses, there's not one area of this state that won't be touched by this campaign, by the effort that we are embarking upon with the help of the foundation, the University Foundation, and Brian is here with the help of our Alumni Association, with the help of TAF, with the help of our medical schools. This truly is a comprehensive campaign that we have no doubt we're going to hit that target with your help. And finally, I'd just like to say to our students and our provost and executive vice president for academic affairs, Stacy Haney's here, we're always amazed at how our students surprise us. And our students surprised us again tonight because Shanette and I were sitting there thinking, how in the world did you guys start off, and how did you learn Casey and the Sunshine Band, Shake Your Booty? You guys are 18 to 23. How did you know that song? We all know that song, but you guys, that was the first song you played tonight. But more importantly, congratulations to our great honorees. You are joining a club of 300 strong that represent our university, not just in Louisiana, not just in this region of the state, not just in this nation, but all over the world with your accomplishments. And we couldn't be more proud of you because you have impacted lives, thousands and thousands of lives through employment, but also through what you have done with construction, with broadcast journalism, with chemical engineering, with everything that we live by each and every day. So congratulations to our honorees, and go Tigers.
Induction into the LSU Alumni Hall of Distinction is the highest and most coveted honor bestowed upon an LSU alumni by the association. Our alumni staff works diligently to make this night a spectacular, one-of-a-kind evening that you will always treasure, an unforgettable LSU night to remember. On behalf of the Board of Directors of the Global LSU Alumni Association, the alumni staff, and the more than 250,000 alumni around the globe, congratulations on your selection to the prestigious 2019 Hall of Distinction. You honor LSU through your achievements, loyalty, service, and generosity. Forever LSU.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we move to the induction portion of our evening ceremony. For more than 5 decades, the LSU Alumni Association has honored former students who have gone on to achieve national and international prominence in their respective field of study. One would marvel at the depth of field of the names enshrined in the Hall of Distinction. Renowned scientists, movie stars, military generals, heads of state, Hall of Fame athletes, media personalities. The multiplicity of these individuals who've come before is a testament to this university and its graduates. So before we hear the narratives of our 2019 inductees, let's revisit some of the many faces that have come across this stage in the last 50 years. What a diverse group of alumni from all corners of the world. Who would have thought Ruth's Chris, the home of the sizzling steaks, the engineer of Mercury spaceships, Shaquille O'Neal, the president of Honduras, and the creator of Shrek. Well, guess what? After tonight, it's Greg, Wendy, Haystown, and Dale. You're up there next year in 2020, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the real meat of the program, and it's my honor to present the LSU Alumni Association's 2019 Hall of Distinction. Enjoy.
Gregory Mark Bowser is president of the Louisiana Chemical Association, Louisiana Chemical Industry Alliance, and Louisiana Foundation for Excellence in Science, Technology, and Education. A native of Baldwin, Louisiana, Gregory Mark Bowser earned a bachelor's degree in broadcast journalism from LSU in 1983. A four-year letterman at nose guard for the LSU Tigers, Bowser was a freshman on Coach Charles McClendon's final team in 1979 before starring on the defensive line for Coach Jerry Stovall. He was a key component in one of LSU's greatest wins, a 55-21 thrashing of Florida State, paving the Tigers' way to a 1983 berth in the Orange Bowl versus Nebraska. Following his days at LSU, Bowser joined the staff of Congressman James A. Hayes in 1987 as his press secretary. Wanting to return to his home state in Louisiana, he joined Governor-elect Buddy Roemer's transition team as Deputy Assistant Coordinator and later served as Special Assistant to the Governor. He held several positions under Governor Roemer until 1989, when he became the coordinator of the Louisiana Healthcare Authority. In this position, he established and implemented the new governance and fund recapitalization plan for the Louisiana Charity Hospital System. Bowser joined the Louisiana Chemical Association and Louisiana Chemical Industry Alliance in 1991 as Director of Governmental Affairs for LCA and Vice President of LCIA. He was promoted to Vice President of LCA, then Executive Vice President of LCA, LCIA, and the Louisiana Foundation for Excellence in Science, Technology, and Education in 2011. In 2015, Bowser was named as president of LCA-LCIA, the first African-American to lead one of Louisiana's major statewide business trade associations. A pillar of social and civic community involvement in Baton Rouge, Bowser is currently an associate member of the All-State Sugar Bowl Committee and serves on boards of Our Lady of the Lake Hospital System, Baton Rouge City Club, and is vice president of LSU's National L Club. He was the first African-American to serve on the Baton Rouge General Board of Directors and the Bocage Racquet Club. Bowser is also a founding member of Forum 35. As a former LSU football star with a degree in broadcast journalism, Bowser put both experiences to work and served for many years as analyst for Cox Sports TV and the LSU Radio Network. Greg and his wife Adrian have two sons, Gregory II and Miles. About LSU, Bowser says, LSU has opened a whole new world for me, meeting people from different walks of life and learning things about other parts of the world. While it was football at LSU that helped me develop the competitive fire within myself, it was the overall diversity of experiences away from the football field that truly helped me understand more about life. I grew up well at LSU, and it gave me a deeper understanding of where I came from and what's important.
Ladies and gentlemen, Greg Bowser. There you go, Greg. Congratulations. Greg, you seem to have a relief on your face, like, I made it. We're going to just have a conversation here today. Just take us back 40 years ago to 1979 when you got in your car in Baldwin, Louisiana, drove here to LSU to be a student athlete on the football team, and a journalism major.
When I think back to that time, I wish it was like that. First of all, I have to say, you know, being the youngest of 15, my father passed away when I was 6 months old, so I really didn't get a chance to meet him. But I was raised by a strong mom, and some, I like to think, very mean and creative siblings. Many of which are here tonight. And I appreciate them coming. But no, I really literally had to catch a ride to LSU. I came up in early August and didn't go home again until December. And so it was my first time away from home. And it was very nerve-wracking for me, and not knowing what to expect, and going into a world that, I was excited about on the field, but I didn't know what was going to happen when I got to classrooms, if people were going to treat me differently, right. Because we didn't have the resources as a family to be like everybody else. And what I really found out was that, LSU was, the people were kind and the professors were nice, and they gave you an opportunity to be you. And it didn't matter where you came from. If you struggled, they tried to help. And that was probably the most relieving thing. And then from there, it kind of grew. And so I think LSU helped me from that perspective. And it gave a boy from Franklin, Louisiana, Baldwin, Louisiana, right. who grew up on Rosebud. I like to tell people I grew up on a sugar plantation and we didn't own it. Right. But it was really great growing up, and I had the support of my family, and it was just wonderful. And coming to LSU was moving into another family atmosphere, which I didn't know existed at the time, but there were people I did not know that embraced me and helped me along the way, and I think that I'm forever grateful. I think that I'm fortunate that God put some really good people in my life. There are a lot of great people that touched my life when I was at LSU. And there were relationships that last to today. And so I think that helped me to grow. And professionally, there were a lot of great people that also touched my life, and I was really fortunate about that. So I'm excited about it. I'm still trying to get my head around being a part of this, because when you look at some of the giants that was on that screen, it's right. It's amazing to know that one day, your name could be there. And again, I wish I could tell you I dreamed about being here, but when you live where I live and you grew up how I grew up, you can't dream this.
We can look at your resume, and we heard about where you work and what you do, but thank you for taking us on another road tonight. Greg Bowser, you're awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A. Hayes Town Jr., owner and founder of Town Construction, has a unique affiliation with Louisiana State University. Earning a bachelor's degree in civil engineering from LSU in 1958, Town returned 55 years later and obtained a master's degree in geography in 2013. At the age of 78, his graduate degree distinguished him as one of LSU's oldest graduates. Upon completion of his undergraduate degree, Town followed in the footsteps of his father, renowned architect A. Hayes Town Sr. In 1959, the younger Town established Town Construction and built hundreds of homes throughout Baton Rouge, including nearly every Baton Rouge home that his father designed during the time period their careers crossed paths. Town helped establish the Baton Rouge chapter of Associated Builders and Contractors, served as its first president, and received the first Man of the Year award from the national chapter. He served on the Construction Board of Appeals for East Baton Rouge Parish for 20 years and the State Licensing Board for Contractors for 18 years, including a term as president. Town's philanthropic endeavors began at LSU as a member of Kappa Sigma fraternity, where he chaired a function for needy children. A highlight of Town's life is establishing St. Elizabeth's Foundation, a nonprofit adoption agency which celebrated its 30th anniversary in 2018. As board chair, Town is involved in helping provide young pregnant women without resource options for adoption, placing more than 600 babies in loving families. St. Elizabeth works with the LSU School of Social Work to employ and educate student interns in a real-world setting. He served on the LSU School of Social Work Advisory Board and as chairman of the Louisiana State Child Care Committee. Town received the inaugural Angel in Adoption Award from the Congressional Coalition on Adoption Institute in 1999, and in 2018 received the Leadership for Life Award from Louisiana Right to Life. In 2016, he received the Quality of Life Award from the Baton Rouge Growth Coalition and was named the 2018 Salvation Army Volunteer of the Year. Town and his sister, Blanche Town Gladney, established the A. Hayes Town Professorship in the School of Architecture in honor of their late father. And he supports the LSU Museum of Art, School of Music, Manship School of Mass Communications, and College of Humanities and Social Sciences, specifically the Department of Geography and Anthropology. His return to campus at age 75 to pursue a master's degree spurred a new passion. In 2012, Town formed the advocacy group Baton Rouge Citizens to Save Our Water and was appointed by Governor John Bell Edwards in 2018 to the Capital Area Groundwater Conservation Commission. He serves on the board of the Green Army, a statewide alliance of civic, community, and environmental organizations committed to social, political, and environmental change. Town and his wife, Gay, have 6 children, including 2 LSU graduates. They have 20 grandchildren, including 9 LSU graduates, and 3 current students, and 18 great-grandchildren. About LSU, Town says, "My years at LSU profoundly influenced my life. First and foremost, it is where my wife and I met and fell in love, became engaged, and married, all while studying at the university. Secondly, through my fraternity, I planned several charitable functions to benefit those less fortunate. This led me to a lifelong desire to help other people. Also, my studies in engineering gave me the tools to be successful in my chosen profession of engineering and contracting."
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. A. Hayes Town, Jr. There you go. You ready? Mr. Hayes Town, it is a pleasure to be in your company.
It's my pleasure. I'm really proud to be here tonight. Thank you all so much.
You are so welcome, and thank you for what you do to make LSU a great place to be. Interesting. You were born in Jackson, Mississippi. You moved to Baton Rouge. You graduated high school in Tennessee. Isn't this interesting? Back and forth a little bit. Then you came back to LSU for college. Did you always want to attend LSU? Because you've been in some cities with some other major schools, but you came back here. Why?
Well, when I came back after graduating from high school, I had a scholarship to Tulane, but I really wanted to go to MIT. But my father was a lot wiser and said I needed to stay home and become friends again with my mother and family, which really worked out good, to be honest with you. It was the right
You're right.
decision.
I agree. I have to agree with you on that one. Yeah, I'm glad he said that, yes. You're a distinguished alumni. You walk down this purple carpet between the gold ropes. How do you feel?
Very proud, very humbled and very proud. It's wonderful to be selected by this group, I promise you.
We believe it. Thank you so much, Mr. Hayes Town.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Hayes Town, thank you so much.
Wendy McMahon, president of ABC-owned television stations, is the 2019 Young Alumna of the Year. Earning a bachelor's degree in mass communications, McMahon graduated summa cum laude from LSU in 1996. Active in numerous organizations during her years on campus, McMahon served as commander of Scotch Guard, was elected to student government, and was an LSU ambassador. The youngest person ever named president of the Disney ABC-owned television station group, McMahon has chief management responsibilities for 8 television stations across the country, as well as the 1,400-member Disney ABC local team. She previously served as senior vice president of the digital component of the company and was responsible for the digital content, product technology, and audience development strategies for Walt Disney Company's 8 ABC-owned television stations. Prior to her installment as president of ABC-owned television stations, McMahon was vice president of programming and creative services at KABC-TV, the ABC-owned television station in Los Angeles. Before her move to the West Coast, she was director of creative services at CBS-owned television stations in Boston and Minneapolis. McMahon has been recognized with numerous Emmys and Promax awards for advertising campaigns, including a Broadcast Design Best in Show award. She's received numerous marketing awards from Disney, ABC, and CBS, and was named One to Watch by the Boston Business Journal. She serves on the Broadcasters Foundation Board of Directors, supporting broadcasters who, through injury, illness, or crisis, find themselves in need of support and assistance. And McMahon is actively involved in Disney Volunteers efforts and outreach. McMahon and her husband, William and Bill Burton, have one son, 7-year-old Chase. Their family resides in Encino, California. About LSU, McMahon says, "In a world of constant change, LSU remains as steadfast and stately as always. Forever LSU, that line of the alma mater, is a promise, a pact between me and the university I love, to be here for one another and for Louisiana through thick and thin. I couldn't be more grateful for the experience I had at LSU that led me to the Walt Disney Company, the continued pull of LSU that keeps me grounded and somehow, regardless of where I am, always home."
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Wendy McMahon. Welcome, Wendy. Welcome. My gosh, I feel so under pressure. It's like you're grading me from graduating from the journalism school. You are at the top of your ranks, girl. You go.
Oh,
love
thank
it.
You. Thank you. So are you.
Thank you.
It's fabulous tonight.
Thank you very much, Wendy. Coming from you, I feel great. I'm going to sleep good tonight. Thank you. Thank you. Really?
Really?
I've got to ask this. I watch ABC, and I swear I do. I'm not just saying that because you're here, okay? And I'm sure all of us do.
Thank you.
I love David Muir. Ladies and gentlemen, coming on with breaking news. It's always breaking news at night. When I watch ABC TV, tell me what you do that I see. When you go to work every day, what do I see that you do as the final product?
So Disney owns 8 television stations across the country.
Right.
And it's in the largest markets. So we own New York, LA, Chicago, San Francisco, Philadelphia, Houston, Raleigh-Durham, and Fresno. So
right.
Those 8 stations represent 23% of the U.S. And so we have 1,400 people working in those newsrooms, in marketing, in sales, in community engagement and relations. And those teams, those stations, I have the honor of leading those stations in both what we do now as broadcasters and what we will do in the future as technology really changes how audiences engage with our content and with our brands.
Speaking of television changing, it used to be back in the day we would sit down and watch the evening news, and it was Walter Cronkite, Tom Brokaw, Dan Rather. Today we have so many options. 24-hour news, we have specialized channels, Weather Channel, HGTV, and now we have a new component, a new population in our group, millennials. How are you reaching out to them? Because they don't have the same habits as the traditional folks. What are you doing to keep them interested in ABC?
Well, so much of who we aren't just local television stations.
Okay.
We're local news and information brands. And increasingly, that consumption, to your point, is happening on a smartphone or over the top on Amazon Fire TV or Roku. And so ultimately, it's about how we expand our content portfolio, how we increase our overall footprint to expand our brand equity and to engage with those audiences where they are. And so it's very much about more endpoints, more content, and more opportunities.
Given that we have quite a few graduates, even some in the room who are part of the Manship Journalism School and graduated from there, what advice would you give someone who called and said, Wendy, do you have time to have coffee with me? What advice would you give them to say,
well, first of
this
all,
is what you need to do?
Always have coffee, because I find that you learn as much in those moments as the person sitting across from you. And so I always take those coffees. And I generally give 3 words of advice. I say, first, identify your passion, and then identify your profession. Find a way to do something each and every day that you love. And there's a great quote, and I actually think it's great advice: find a job you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And that's so very important. And then the second thing I always encourage them to do is to be fearless. I don't know if it's the Louisiana in me. I'm from New Orleans. I grew up in Algiers. Or it's the LSU Tiger in me. But I've always been a bit fearless in my career. And so I recommend that. I recommend that someone pursue their passion and then pursue it fearlessly. And then the last thing I would say is to surround yourself with people who believe in you, who lift you up. My mother and my father believed in me always, and I always knew, and they instilled in me early on, that if I worked harder and if I prepared more than the person next to me, I would succeed. And then the community of LSU, again, lifted me as well. Right. And then more recently, my husband, Bill, my son Chase, who's 7, they've made my life infinitely happier, fuller, and they've made me a better leader, more balanced. I lead with more empathy, more compassion, and that's because of those two.
You know, we can't leave here today. Your family's so beautiful. You came here yesterday, if I recall. You're leaving on Sunday. You're taking in the 2 baseball games tomorrow. Chase went on a tour. Come here, Chase. Come on up. Come sit with your mom. You're her pride and joy. Chase went on a tour. Tell us where you went on a tour today.
We went actually hundreds of places today.
Okay.
We saw Mike the Tiger.
Football?
No. Okay. I played baseball today.
Okay.
We went on the trolley today, too. And
you went to the souvenir shop.
Yeah, we went to the souvenir shop. Yes, we did.
And then when I saw you eating lunch, you wanted to go out to the swimming pool.
Yes, I did go to the swimming pool.
Okay, did you get in it?
Yes, I did get in it.
And you said it was a little chilly.
Freezing cold.
Freezing cold. Well, maybe tomorrow. Yeah. And I understand that the LSU Alumni Association presented you with a baseball jersey and a football jersey.
Yes.
And I hope that you enjoy that.
Yes, we did. Yes, I did. My whole family did.
You did. Well, Chase, before you go, I have a surprise for you because I understand that you had something in your hand today and it melted and it didn't go really well. So, oh my gosh, I hope it's here. Oh, I feel it. Do you want this?
Sure.
Only if you promise to be an LSU grad and come back here and be an alumnus one day.
Yes.
You got it. There you go. Wendy, thank you so much. Everyone has their eyes open when they see a TV star or hear the networks. So thank you so much for what you do. Continue to rise as a star and come back and see us some more, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Wendy McMahon. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dale Hall.
H. Dale Hall, Chief Executive Officer of Ducks Unlimited, America's leading wetlands and grassland habitat conservation group, is the 2019 LSU Alumni Association Alumnus of the Year. After receiving a bachelor's degree in biology and chemistry from Cumberland College in Williamsburg, Kentucky, Hall served in the U.S. Air Force from 1968 until 1972, with overseas assignments in Italy and the Philippines. Following his military service, he came to Baton Rouge, where he earned a master's degree from LSU in 1979. Hall joined Ducks Unlimited in 2010 after 3 decades of service with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Widely respected as a visionary conservationist and one of the country's most effective wildlife professionals, Hall served in several national-level roles before being appointed Director of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service by President George W. Bush in 2005. As CEO of Ducks Unlimited, Hall oversaw a $2 billion capital campaign for wetlands conservation, the largest campaign of its kind in conservation history. These funds allowed millions of acres of habitat to be preserved, with more than 500,000 acres placed under protection in the United States in 2018. Hall serves on the boards of America's Wetland Foundation, the Johnny Morris Wonders of Wildlife Museum and Aquarium, and the Peregrine Foundation. He sits on the Louisiana Governor's Advisory Commission on Coastal Protection, Restoration, and Conservation, and is a professional member of the Boone and Crockett Club. Hall is also a visiting fellow on the LSU Coastal Sustainability Studio External Advisory Board. Among his many honors, Hall received the Association of Fish and Wildlife Agency's Lifetime Achievement Award, the USWFS Ira Gabrielson Award for Leadership, the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation Range Public Service Award, the U.S. Department of Interior Meritorious Service Award, the Department of Army Commander's Award for Public Service. He was also named Conservationist of the Year by both America's Wetland Foundation and Bass Pro Shops, and was inducted into the LSU School of Renewable Resources Hall of Fame as the 2018 Alumnus of the Year. Hall, with his wife, Sarah Reed Hall, an LSU alumnus with a bachelor's and master's degree in education, reside in Collierville, Tennessee. They have 3 children and 3 grandchildren. About the impact of LSU on his life, Hall says, LSU changed my life on both personal and professional levels. It is truly challenging to adequately articulate the deep impact LSU had on my life. I will be forever grateful.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2019 LSU Alumnus of the Year, Mr. Dale Hall. We meet again. Dale, it's great to have you.
It's really good to be here.
How are you feeling? You walked that purple carpet, gold ropes. How are you feeling?
Well, it's a little surreal. For me, this is so overwhelming. You know, in my heart, I'm still just an old country boy from the hills of Kentucky. And to be in this kind of company, to be around these kinds of people, it's just been the honor of my life to be part of LSU and the family.
It was a pleasure to meet you for the first time out in the lobby. I felt as if I didn't meet you for the first time. We just struck up conversation with the commonalities we do have. You have your wonderful wife with you here as well, Sarah. Your family here. Go ahead and stand up. Let everyone see you. Thank you. And you have family members on the first row as well, right?
Yes.
And who are they? I saw them giggling.
Yeah. They're the ones that keep me grounded.
Okay. And who are they?
Our son, Adam.
Hi, Adam.
Our daughter, yep. Our daughter, Emily. Our daughter, Erin. And our good friend, Drew.
Perfect. Nice to meet you. No wonder.
We adopted Drew.
No wonder they were giggling, their siblings, right? Yeah. You're a native of Kentucky and obtained your undergraduate degree from Cumberland College before coming to Baton Rouge for your master's degree, in which you earned in 1979. What prompted you to come to LSU? Of all the schools you could go to, why here?
Well, you know, I've always believed that, that God put an angel on my shoulder. And that when one thing happens that's bad and the door closes, another door opens.
True.
And if we're wise enough to listen to the angel, we hear that. So I was actually graduated from Cumberland College. I went to graduate school at Eastern Kentucky University. I had finished all of my coursework for my master's degree, but I had a research project that I needed to finish and write my thesis. And with about 3 months left of research I needed to gather, a piece of equipment broke that was essential to my research. And the dean of the college there said he wouldn't replace it. And so my professor there got really angry and said, this is not fair. He's finished his whole master's degree and you're going to do this. And the guy said, you know, I don't have the money, I'm not going to do it. So he got on the phone and he called one of his former students. And that former student was a professor here at LSU. And he's told him the story. And that professor, without ever talking to me, without ever saying a word, right, said, send him down, I'll give him an assistantship, and we'll give him a place here, and we'll have him work on my team. That professor is sitting here tonight. Fred Bryan, would you please stand up?
Please stand. Thank you, Professor. There he is right there. Thank you.
And I think that that's what really separates the true academic institutions from schools. The compassion that professors have, and they're never recognized for, to help people, to guide them, to give them a chance to see something that somebody else didn't see and say, you know, this is not right. We're going to give this guy a chance. Otherwise, I would have never made it to LSU.
You currently live in Memphis, Tennessee, but this is home. This is roots, right here in the Baton Rouge area.
Well, I adopted Louisiana. They have not yet declared whether or not they adopted me.
Okay. After tonight, they better. Right. We can make that happen with Mr. Haystown, correct? We can make that happen to be successful with that. Thank you for your service. You currently live in Memphis, Tennessee, you and Sarah. You're retired, you're on your way, you're making that transition through retirement as of right now. And if it serves me correctly, the Dale and Sarah Hall Legacy Challenge has begun. Is that a fundraising effort conceived by Ducks Unlimited volunteers? Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, again, very, very humbling. But when I announced that I was going to retire, I promised the board I'd give them a year so that they could take their time. So our national convention was in Indianapolis last year, and I announced then that I would step down in June after our national convention that it will take place in Hawaii this year. But you know, I really wanted to challenge them to keep the pedal to the metal on that $2 billion. It was not about me, it was about us, it was about the team, and little to my knowledge, immediately a couple of volunteers who really love Sarah and they tolerate me, decided that they would create the Dale and Sarah Hall Legacy Fund. And within 24 hours, there was $1.3 million in that fund.
Congratulations. It speaks very well of you.
And it's been growing.
Speaks very well of you.
And it will go to conservation. All of it goes to conservation.
Awesome. Well, when you and Sarah move back to Baton Rouge, you won't have a problem finding or building a house.
I think I know somebody.
I think you know somebody now, right? Thank you so much for visiting with us, and congratulations on this honor.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have chatted with you.
It's my pleasure. It's my honor.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dale Hall. Honorees.
Thank you so much for joining us.
And thank you so much for your support for the LSU Alumni Association. Go Tigers!